Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Kepley with howtoplaystock.com. Today is June 17th, 2016, and today I wanted to cover another tool within the umbrella of deferred annuities, and that's the indexed annuity. Alright, now if you haven't watched any of my other videos, I'm making a package basically of videos that have to deal with all the different types of annuities and options you have with the contracts within those different annuities. So if you haven't checked them out, I'll leave a link here to the video I made prior to this, which was on fixed annuities. And excuse me here. Today I'm just simply going to cover the difference between the fixed annuity and an indexed annuity. And the indexed annuity is what I'm covering with you guys today. Alright, so getting started here, the return on investment is tied to a stock index. Alright, so it could be the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones. Normally though it's equity based, okay, so it's just stocks. And the thing with stocks, guys, is they are volatile, so they go up and down. Alright, now they're similar to fixed annuities, but the returns are not fixed. They're not locked in, okay, like a fixed annuity. So like with a fixed annuity, when you sign up for a contract with one of those, it's locked in, and you're, say, getting a 4% or 5% return annually, regardless of the markets going up and down. With an indexed annuity, it's pretty much the opposite. The returns are not locked in, so your returns can go up and down. Okay? Something to keep in mind there. Now, I went to Google and did a little research on the age variations and what is a recommended age to go ahead and purchase a tool like this. And according to Google, the age to purchase a contract with like an indexed annuity, they're saying is roughly around mid-40s to 50s. And the reason for that is because throughout your career working as an employee, you're going to have other investments going, like a 401k, maybe a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA. And what you want to do is grow your wealth through time while you're working, okay, up to your retirement age. But the rule of thumb is the older you get, the less risk you can take, okay, and the less likely you are to be able to, afford to take those losses when the markets go down. So what they recommend doing, basically, as part of your retirement plan, is when you hit like your mid-40s to 50s, take some of that money that you've made throughout your career investing, take some of the returns from that and your initial principal, and move it over into something like an indexed annuity or a fixed annuity. So at least you're getting some of your income that you've created and your wealth locked in at a certain rate, and it's guaranteed lifetime income for you. So it helps protect you from running out of money in your later years. Okay, so that's the reason for the age being around mid-40s to 50s. When you're purchasing a contract, like an indexed annuity here. Now, the insurance companies commonly offer a provision of a guaranteed minimum return. I'll go over that here in a little bit. I took some notes on it, and I just wanted to take notes so that I know, for sure what I'm telling you is correct. And I'll go over that here in a minute with you and explain kind of how that works. The other thing is, if the stock market does poorly, for some unknown reason, like we've seen in the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, if it does poorly, and it drops 15%, 20%, 30%, some of the downside or risk of your loss, it's limited. Okay, it's limited, which means you're not going to lose as much as say somebody who's got their money tied to a 401k account. And a lot of people, if you've heard the term 201k instead of a 401k, the history will show you that, a lot of those people back in 2008 lost 40% of the returns. You're not going to experience that in an annuity, okay? Because some of the risk or the downside of loss is limited, all right? I'm not going to cover that in detail with you because, again, it depends on some of the contracts that you get into. They can vary a little bit depending on insurance companies. Those are things, though, that you want to look into. And the payouts here are annually. All right, so they're once a year. So if you're planning on getting into something like an indexed annuity, you need to know roughly how much it takes, as far as expenses, bills, making payments and whatnot. You need to know how much that stuff's going to cost you for an entire year. At least that way you have some idea when you get your paycheck from an annuity of, how you're going to handle that and how you're going to manage your money. All right. Now, moving forward here's the notes I wanted to cover with you. And this came directly from Investopedia on Google. Now, I'll just go ahead and get started here. It's common for annuitants' yields, or the investor's yield, to be somewhat lower than expected due to a combination of caps on the maximum amount of interest earned, all right, and fee-related deductions. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example of that real quick and kind of, shed some light on, why that is and how that works. So the example that they gave us on Investopedia was, suppose an index annuity is based on the S&P 500, okay? And the annuity earns 10% for the year, all right? The terms of the indexed annuity may state that, for example here, in this specific example, the contract may state that the fees will be 2.5%, and that the maximum cap on returns is 9%, okay? Now the stock market that it's tied to, the S&P 500, did 10% for the year. That's not going to be your return though, because the max cap on this example here is 9%. So, with that in mind, in this case, the annuitant's yield, or the investor's yield, would only receive a total of 6.5%. And the reason why is because they're going off the cap max return, which would be 9% on this contract. They're locking in that as the return, the max cap. And then they subtract that from the fees, which was 2.5%. And that gives you a total return of 6.5% on that contract. So if you had an annuity, an indexed annuity set up with a contract like this, your return would have been 6.5% on, that year when the S&P 500 did a 10% return. Now, I mean, it sounds kind of janky, I guess, but it really isn't. I mean, especially when you're talking about a guaranteed lifetime income, and especially if you know how much it takes for you to live each year. Now, that's not to mention, you might still have Social Security on top of that. Okay, so it's not a bad deal, really, it's not. But that's indexed annuities for you guys. Again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe, because I'm putting together a video package right now on annuities for guaranteed lifetime income. I'm laying out your options for you there. I've got a whole list of videos that I'll be putting out here over the next few months on all sorts of different topics, from day trading. I'm going to go over the Forex market, because there's a lot of people right now coming to me asking me questions about how to trade the Forex currency markets. So I'll go over that with you guys as well. But, stay tuned, because some of the information I'm putting out here is pretty useful. And if you happen to think it is, go ahead and like this video, and go ahead and share it with as many folks as you can, okay? Because, again, the name of the game here, guys, is income is the outcome, all right? You're tuning in to howtoplaystock.com. This is today's Investors Investing Tips, and I will talk to you guys here soon. Thank you.